The wall loomed like a scar across the world. Ice climbed skyward until it vanished into cloud and mist. Ancient and indifferent, its face carved by centuries of wind and blood. At its foot stood an army of free folk, ragged, loud, restless. Banners snapping in the frozen air. Edrik Snowborn stood before them, still, like the cold air had frozen not just his bones, but time around him. Time always seemed to move slowly before battle. This was to be the largest one yet. 30 years old, scarred, hardened, alive when many better men were not. He rested one hand on his now worn axe and stared up at Castle Black. This should have been done yesterday. His voice carried, low but steady. We wait while the dead gather. We argue while the Night King marches. We pretend stone and ice will save us, when only action ever has. A pause. Remember this moment. Remember how long it took us to act. The wind howled, carrying his words north. And then the world fell backward into memory. The cabin was low-roofed and thick with smoke, the kind that clung to clothes and hair long after you'd left. Grease popped in the hearth. Somewhere behind them, a man laughed too loudly, then coughed as if he might choke on it. Edrik sat forward on the bench, elbows on the table, fingers wrapped tight around a flagon of ale he hadn't drunk from in some time. Across from him, a man listened. Not a friend, but not quite a stranger either. One of those men you share fire and drink with because the world beyond the walls is worse company. Edrik broke first. It should have been done yesterday. The man raised his eyes, but said nothing. Edrik scoffed, a humorous sound. Yesterday. Half moon. Last year. Pick a day. Any of them would have been better than this. He finally drank, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. We talk. We gather. We wait. Always waiting. As if the cold gives a damn about our plans. The man shifted slightly.
Man says time buys strength.
Edrik laughed, sharp and bitter. Time buys graves. He leaned back, gaze drifting to the fire. For a moment his voice softened, not with calm, but with certainty. Mance has seen what waits for us out there. Not stories, not campfire lies. He's seen men fall and rise wrong. He's seen eyes like frost and hands that don't tire. The dead don't need time. They don't need rest. They don't need to agree. He turned back, suddenly intense. And we're still arguing. over clans and numbers and whether the Fens will march beside the Ice River folk, as if any of that will matter when the snow starts walking. The man frowned into his cup.
Mance has crossed the wall. He knows it better than any.
He knows the wall, Edrik snaps. But it's as if he's forgotten what's coming for it. Silence stretched between them. The cavern creaked as the wind pressed against its timbers. Edrik lowered his voice. The wall isn't an obstacle. It's a door, and doors don't mean safety if you refuse to open them. The man studied him now.
You're saying Mance is wrong?
Edrik didn't hesitate. I'm saying he's careful when he should be afraid. He shook his head slowly. Every day we wait, more dead gather. Every night we sit by fire and tell ourselves tomorrow will be soon enough. His fingers tightened around the flagon until it creaked. If we don't take the wall, we will perish and rise again, vacant, empty. We don't get over that damned ice wall. And all of this, he gestured vaguely at the tavern, the warmth, the noise, means nothing. The man drank at last.
And what will you do?
Edrik stared into the fire. What needs doing? A gust of wind rattled the door. Somewhere far to the north, the night pressed closer. Edrik finally drank his ale. It should have been done yesterday.
That's him. That's Edrik.
Aye, look at him. Smells like he tried to drown himself in ale.
Wake up, Crow.
It's off.
Up, now.
Gods, my head's splitting. Are you two always this ugly, or is it just the drink?
Careful, boy. A little bird's been flapping its mouth all night.
Birds do that. Sing, shit, make a mess.
This one sang your name. Said you've been talking bold, talking loud, talking about Mance.
Said you don't like his way of doing things. Said you think he's slow. Said you think we should already be south of the wall.
I didn't know truth was a crime now.
Mance don't care much for truth this morning. He cares that his name was spoken by a drunk with too many opinions.
If he wanted silence, he should have frozen my tongue. Shouldn't he?
Someone's brave when they're horizontal, aren't they?
Get up, Edrik.
You're coming with us.
I figured as much. The doors close behind Edrik with a heavy wooden thud. The fire is low but wide, throwing long shadows across the hall. Mance Radar sits half-dressed upon his rough throne, scars bare, crown absent. Great table stretches before him, littered with bones, cups, and half-eaten meat. Guards linger in the gloom.
You know, I had a man once who spoke like you.
He takes a slow drink, watching Edrik over the rim.
Thought himself brave. Thought urgency was the same as wisdom. I had him flogged until his voice sounded like gravel, then I sent him north. The dead took him before nightfall.
If you mean to threaten me, King Beyond the Wall, do it plain.
If I meant to threaten you, boy, you'd already be screaming.
He leans forward slightly.
You've been loud, you've been careless, you've been telling my people I'm slow.
I've been telling them the truth. Low murmurs ripple among the guards. Mance raises a hand. Silence returns.
Truth? I have fought the dead. I've stood in the frost while men froze solid beside me. I've watched corpses stand back up and keep coming. You've only heard stories.
And every one of them ends the same. With us dying north of a wall we should already be past.
That wall isn't a door. It's a blade pressed against our throats. You don't cross it by running headlong, you cross it when every clan moves as one.
They won't wait forever. They're restless, hungry, afraid. They see the fires in the night. They hear the horns. They don't care about plans, they care about living.
And I care about winning.
He turns away, looking down the length of the hall.
I didn't unite the clans by shouting, I did it by surviving what should have killed me. You think I don't feel the pressure? You think I sleep easy? Every day I delay costs lives. Every day I rush costs more. You're right about one thing.
Edrik looks up.
Things are moving too slowly.
The guards shift. This wasn't expected.
And that's why you're standing here instead of bleeding in the snow. You've got fire in your Edrik. Enough to burn yourself. Or to ignite something useful.
Say what you mean.
I need you busy. There are clans I won't waste breath on. Men and women too bitter, too broken, too stubborn to kneel. They'll listen to someone like you.
You want me to recruit for you?
I want you to raise your own clan. Train them, feed them, turn scraps into soldiers. Men and women I don't have time to shepherd.
And if I fail?
Then you'll die proving me right.
Silence hangs in the air.
But if you succeed, you'll put steel behind my words. You'll speed the taking of Castle Black.
You trust me with that?
I don't trust you. I trust the dead are coming faster than my pride.
Edrik exhales slowly and nods. I'll do it. I'll gather them. I'll make them ready. And when we march south, Edrik looks Mance in the eye. I pray to all the gods that it won't be too late.
See that it isn't.
He turns away, dismissing him.
Go now. And Edrik, if you're wrong, I'll kill you myself.
I still don't understand why he's sat just in his underwear.
What did you just mutter, boy?
I said, then let's hope the dead wait. And so he began walking the long road between settlements. At Giant Stair he found fighters eager to join. At Ruddy Hall, men hardened by scarcity joined him. At Milkwater he gathered the last of what he needed. Edrik caught sight of a band of 10 pillagers, moving carelessly through the snow.
Under my command!
One of the pillagers loosed a spear with uncanny accuracy, the weapon skimming death itself before burying into the snow.
Attack!
For a moment, the fight hung uncertain. Then Edrik gave the order. His men surged forward, disciplined enough to listen, fierce enough to follow. The pillagers broke beneath them. Not a single man was lost. An early victory, small but vital. Prisoners were taken, loot was gathered. From the fallen, Edrik armed himself properly for the first time. A new helmet, 30 boots, a serviceable axe. Along the river, beneath the looming shadow of the wall, Edrik pursued a group of 12 renegades. This time he tested his throwing arm, with mixed results. Some strikes landed true, others reminded him how much he still had to learn. As the last axe fell on an ambusher's head, the battle was won, but not without cost. A couple of men fell, the first losses under his command. On the return journey towards Milkwater, a raven reached him with news that rippled far beyond the wall. Ned Stark had been executed by King Joffrey. Edrik did not mourn. The north would be distracted now, fractured by grief and fury, and while the south turned inward, the free folk would continue to gather strength. At Milkwater, Edrik replaced his losses and turned once more toward violence. Nearby, 17 pillagers had made camp. He drilled his men before the fight, reinforcing formation and discipline. They listened. They trusted. The battle was hard but controlled. Edrik and his men swung their axes furiously, trying to break through the enemy's shield. More men were lost, fewer than before. Progress paid for in blood. At Giant Stair, replacements were found again. Strength replenished. Edrik joined forces with Devon Sealskinner, pincer moving a band of pillagers 7-1.
Edrik hurled his harpoons high into the sky, attempting to hit the enemy through the falling snow. Switching to his axe, he joined his men, shoulder to shoulder, as they pressed the enemy together, making quick work of the last remaining men. The last one of them fell.
The outcome was never in doubt. Devon offered his thanks, and words of Edric's growing competence began to travel. Northward, Edrik reached Frostfang's camp, the seat of Mance Raydar's growing power. There he trained his men in the arena, pushing them until weakness fell away and capability rose in its place. Promotions followed. Heading south again, Edrik spotted something far worse than raiders. White Walkers. Led by Doss, they moved with unnatural purpose. Edrik avoided them at first, wisely, but then saw Mance Rayder himself engaged in battle against them. Without fully understanding what he faced, Edrik charged in.
As Edrik charged, he made note of his allies' cavalry, fearlessly charging towards White Walker as a rain of harpoons and arrows hurled past him. Edrik launched 3 harpoons of his own, successfully hitting the mounted White Walker with the last one. His men, fighting with every ounce of courage they had, were huddled together, an outward display of the fear they all held.
The fight was nothing like those before it. Blades met cold that did not bleed. Strength alone was not enough.
Edrik swung his axe ferociously, driving away a White Walker who had charged his men, facing him once more on his return, driving an axe deep into his horse. A war of attrition this battle had turned into, Edrik thought, as the White Walker kept up with his charges. Edric's men successfully driving him away each time. They could do little else for now. As 3 White Walkers charged towards Edrik, he stood defiantly in front of his lines, projecting faux bravery to his troops as one arrow struck and took one of the demons down.
Edrik brought down a single White Walker, a victory that felt hollow even as it was claimed. No men were lost, but the cost was heavier than numbers. It was a harrowing awakening. Snow drifts through the clearing. The last light collapses. Silence returns too fast. Edrik stands frozen, staring at a corpse that doesn't bleed. Mance wipes his blade clean on the snow and approaches.
I felt the same after the first time I saw them up close.
They didn't shout, didn't break, didn't care if they died. They just came.
That's the mercy of it.
Mercy?
They don't fear, don't hesitate, don't need feeding. Men do.
If they'd reached the camp,
They will, somewhere, some night.
Then the war won't save us.
The war buys time.
Time we're wasting.
You didn't have to ride in, but you did.
Couldn't watch them wait.
We lost fewer today because of you. Thank you.
That doesn't make it easier to sleep.
It never does.
If this is what's coming, we don't have long.
Now you see why I don't rush men to die for pride.
Now you see why I won't wait for them to come to us.
Good. Just remember, moving too fast gets you killed.
Standing still gets everyone killed. Eastward, Edrik watched from afar as the Night King's army moved near the fist of the first men. When the path cleared, he turned south again, chasing renegades near the wall. As battle was joined, the Night's Watch intervened, attempting to fight alongside him. Edrik refused. Rather than stand with his sworn enemy, he withdrew, furious at the intrusion, unwilling to blur lines that still mattered. Soon after, 2 bands of pillagers joined forces against him, 32 against 21.
Edrik ordered his men to crest a small hill behind them, better placing them for the enemy's advance, with the wall covering the horizon behind them. Arrows and spears rained through the sky as the enemy charged upon Edrik's position. Edrik and his men inched forwards towards the enemy. The fight was brutal, chaotic, the kind that broke lesser warbands, Edrik held. Edrik cleaved through the enemy, his axe well sharpened by battle now, taking multiple lives. His men raised their shields and pushed towards the enemy archers, providing some cover when the iron rain above them. The enemy shattered. One man was lost. A grim toll, but proof of hardening resolve, Edrik thought. From there, Edrik rode east to Hardhome, trading loot for coin. He bought himself one indulgence, a simple scarf. Practical. Human. More drilling followed, more promotions. The warband began to resemble something permanent. Near Ruddy Hall, Edrik discovered a hideout. He waited until nightfall, making sure his tactics before he collected his best men and struck with intent. Edrik and his men advanced carefully across the frozen lake. Supply ships burned, camps fell. Edrik charged an ambusher. He dropped his bow as soon as Edrik had closed the distance between them. Edrik swung hard, swung fast, taking hits before felling the man. He jumped on the ship and engaged another ambusher before his men joined in the fray. They charged into the next encampment, quickly dealing with two more as a group.
You've cut quite a swath through my men there, Daniel. How about we settle this one-on-one?
The pillager chieftain challenged him to a duel. Edrik accepted. Swinging tirelessly, Edrik wore the chieftain down, making use of his own shield to block the heavy power of their two-handed axe. Pushing towards the fence, Edrik struck a final blow, taking down the chieftain.
They will remember this!
Edrik won. North towards Frostfang's camp, Edrik pursued broken men who escaped, but not before leading him to another hideout. This one hidden in a hilly pass.
Attack!
There, the chieftain struck first, catching Edrik off guard and knocking him unconscious. His men saved him. Shaken, Edrik fled north towards Fen, seeking to restore confidence, his own as much as theirs. He entered the tournament. The first round was 4 versus 4. Edrik knocked one opponent down before falling himself. His side prevailed. The second round tested endurance and awareness. Edrik fought defensively, surviving until the final moments before falling. He advanced.
The third round was 2 versus 2. This time Edrik's bow spoke clearly. Victory came cleanly. In the final round, Sword and Shield decided the matter swiftly. Edrik won, taking a horse, coined from his wagers, and renewed belief.
Little cow, stone down. You hit man, man fall down, man stay down. Very good fight. Oh, then shout your name. Even goat shout. Magma shout too. Lose voice. Worth it.
He crouches slightly, still towering, and squints at Edrik.
You're strong now. Clan strong. That mean you need bigger friend. Giants. Magma sell giants. Good giants. Not lazy ones. Smash good. Listen sometimes.
Edrik raises an eyebrow. Don't need an army of them. Just one.
One good giant. One giant break many man. Many man bad at standing up.
He leans in, whispering loudly.
Big one. Club bigger than horse. It's horse scared of it.
Edrik exhales a laugh. Alright, one giant. No more. Magma grins ear to ear.
Deal. Giant happy. Magma happy. Little crow happy.
He gently pats Edrik on the head. Far too hard.
Try not die. Giant gets sad when friend die.
Edrik is halfway to the door when
Oi. Snowborn.
Edrik stops and turns.
Been hearing your name a lot.
That usually means trouble.
Usually. This time it means you're doing something right.
He nods towards the door. The world beyond it.
Villagers talk. Warriors talk more. White Walkers though. Everyone's talking about that. Most men run. You didn't.
Edrik shifts, uncomfortable. Wasn't bravery, just didn't die.
Funny thing is, that's usually all bravery is.
Dave leads closer.
I've watched you climb. Win fights. Lose men. Keep going anyway. Next time I pass cross, I won't be watching.
And what will you be doing? Dave smirks.
Try not to embarrass you.
He offers a hand.
You make the road. I'll walk it with you when the time comes.
Rick grips his forearm. I'll hold you to that.
Do that. And try not to get yourself killed before I catch up, yeah?
Edrik tested the giant immediately, riding down broken men. Awed by the sheer destructive force, he returned at once and recruited 3 more giants. Back at Frostfang's camp, Edrik entered another tournament. He defeated 3 riders in a mounted free-for-all, including Val, Mance's sister-in-law. He then fought beside Val, winning easily. Then he faced her alone, and won again. The final duel was swift. Victory brought coin and new shoulder armor. Near Ruddy Hall once more, Edrik waited to clear another hideout. White Walkers approached in force and he fled. When they passed, renegades emerged. Edrik attacked.
Mess with us and we'll sell our lives dearly.
With 4 giants, the battle was effortless. Edrik ordered the charge, his men rushing into the fray. Edrik launching his throwing axes, missing a couple and hitting a few. Drawing his axe, he went to work on the archers in the rear guard. His giants made quick work of anyone trying to escape. At nightfall, he returned and wiped out the hideout entirely. Edrik charged across the ice, his men and giants in tow. The pillagers went about their duties and hung out by the fires, unaware of what was about to hit them. Edrik's men overcame the enemies with absolute ease.
You cut quite a swath through my men.
Edrik tried to put his throwing axes to use. Before clocking an early hit, he drew his shield and threw another throwing axe, making contact this time. The chieftain fell easily. Men were recruited again at Ruddy Hall and Giant Stair. This time, there was a core, veterans, something solid. And when Mance finally spoke to him again, Edrik was no longer just a man with followers.
They stand like they've been paid.
Edrik doesn't smile. They stand like they want to live. Mance huffs softly, approval disguised as breath.
Word's been carrying. Pillagers leaving their dead behind. Renegades scattering instead of fighting. And folks choosing you over older names.
I don't take anyone who won't listen.
Good. Listening's rarer than courage.
Mance circles slowly, boots crunching in the frost.
You've kept them fed. You've kept them moving. And you've kept them alive. Most fail at the second.
And you found some clothes.
Seriously? I just get hot in that hole.
Mance reaches into his cloak and produces a small strip of leather, worn, marked. He holds it out.
I won't call you a clan.
Edrik doesn't reach for it. Not yet. Mance nods.
But I'll call you useful. Mercenaries under my banner. You fight where I point. You eat when I pay.
Edrik considers this. And after?
After. You prove you can hold men when the dead come walking.
Edrik takes the leather. Then I'll hold them. Mance allows himself a thin smile.
That's what worries me.
He steps closer.
Earn this, Edrik Snowborn, and when the time comes, I won't forget who stood early.
Edrik nods once. Neither will I. Mance turns to leave. Over his shoulder he shouts.
Keep your name clean. It's about to start meaning something.
Mance disappears into the trees. Edrik looks back at his men. They're watching him now.
On the bridge outside the Fist of the First Men, Edrik saw an army gathered. Edrik joined him without hesitation. There was much to learn here, not just battle, but command. How armies moved, how leaders chose when to fight and when not to. Bookpick wasted no time. The army turned south towards Crastus Keep, where the Night's Watch had dug in like rot beneath stone. A siege was declared, camps were raised, lines were drawn. And then the dead came. The Night King emerged with his army, silent and restless. Silent and relentless, attacking without warning. They outnumbered the Wildlings 2-1, and numbers meant little against what did not fear death. The battle was annihilation. Men foul where they stood. Veterans broke. Giants roared and were dragged down beneath frozen hands. Every command dissolved into survival. Edrik fought. He endured. But when the field was finally empty, he stood alone. Every single man under his command was dead. Well trained, hardened, gone. Edrik fled with his life, nothing more. For the second time, he had watched an army vanish beneath the weight of the dead. This time, it was his fault, his command, his loss. There was no grief left to spend, only resolve. He rode west, relentless, gathering every wildling willing to fight. Villagers emptied into his ranks. From there, he pressed on to Frostfang's keep, rebuilding with urgency rather than care. When his numbers were restored, Edrik turned north to Fen, entering another tournament, not for glory, but for proof. Proof that he still deserved to lead. A quick visit to Magmar followed, where he recruited another giant, before heading east to Hardhome for yet another tournament. Reputation rebuilt itself slowly, one contest at a time. On the ride west past the Fist of the First Men, Edrik saw the banners of the Night's Watch once more. Jon Snow himself sieging the settlement. From within, Val sallied out to meet them. Edrik felt the pull of obligation. He joined the fight. The battle was brief, decisive and mercifully clean. Losses were minimal. Val offered her thanks, another quiet thread binding Edrik to the Free Folk's inner circle. North of the castle, 2 bands of renegades were spotted moving together. Edrik charged them down across open plains. He was slightly outnumbered, fact rendered meaningless by giants. The renegades were crushed. Not a single man was lost. After a short return to Frostfang's keep, Edrik reunited with Utpik, whose army had recovered. Together they marched once more on Craster's keep. This time, the Night King did not appear. The siege was hard but successful. The castle fell back into Wildling hands. The victory lasted only moments, however. Tobias of the Night's Watch counter-attacked, launching a siege of his own. Edrik and Utpik were exhausted. Their men were bloodied. They were outnumbered. But they howled. defence turned brutal. Wildlings poured over the walls, chasing the watch into open ground. Tobias broke and fled, his army shattered. Praster's keep was held. Edrik took Ambrose and Dickard, leaders of the Watch's force, prisoner.
You fought well. That
They were executed immediately. The tavern was loud enough to drown out thoughts. Laughter, shouting, a lute badly mistreated in the corner. Smoke clung to the beams like it had nowhere better to be. Edrik sat with his back to the wall, nursing a drink. Dave dropped into the seat opposite him like he owned it.
Right. Good news first. I found you.
He glanced around.
Bad news, this place smells like wet dog and regret.
Edrik snorted despite himself. You said next time. Dave raised a finger.
I did. Very clearly. Loud tavern, honest man. Practically a binding contract.
Most men say that, Edrik replied. Then vanish when steel's involved.
Ah. See, that's where I differ. I vanish after the steel's involved.
Edrik shook his head. You know where I'm going. Castle Black. Cold walls. Worse things beyond them.
I've heard. White Walkers, blue eyes, bad manners, no sense of humour at all.
He leaned in.
Frankly, the last part sealed it for me.
Edrik studied him. Men will die.
Yes. And if we're unlucky, it might even be us.
That earned a short laugh from Edrik. Sharp. Surprised. You joke, he said.
If I don't, I start thinking. And thinking's what gets you killed.
They drank. I'm not offering comfort, Edrik said. Or safety.
Good. I don't trust either. Comfort lies, safety gets bored.
Edrik leaned back. You ride with me. You follow orders. Dave raised his mug.
I follow orders exactly. I just complain the whole time. Loudly. Creatively.
Edrik chuckled. Why me? He asked. You could drink, gamble, live. Dave's smile softened just for a moment.
Because everyone else is talking about surviving. You talk about standing.
Silence crept in between jokes. Thin, but real.
Besides, someone has to make sure you don't get too serious. Heroes like you forget to eat or sleep or duck.
Edrik reached across the table and gripped Dave's forearm. When we march, you stand beside me. Dave squeezed back.
Fine. But if I die, I'm haunting you. Loudly.
Edrik smirked. Fair. They stood. Dave grabbed his cloak.
Right then, let's go save the world. Or at least make it very nervous. Small snowboard back again. You win fight, win game, win noisy people clapping. Giants like winners. 3 big friends, very strong, not smart, but smash good. Take care of them, little boss. Giants get sad if no smashing. Go, make noise. Giants follow.
At Fen, Edrik recruited more men and entered another tournament. Dave fought and fell in the first round. A reminder that reputation was earned, not shared. Heading south, Edrik cleared another hideout. Routine now, efficient. The chieftain fell beneath his axe without ceremony. Back at Frostfang's camp, another tournament was held. This time Dave Ryder defeated Edrik, knocking him down with a blunted arrow. Edrik did not reach the final. Pride bruised, lessons learned, respect gained. South of the Fists of the First Men, Edrik spotted Ragwile and his army pursued by Jorm Mormont himself. Edrik rushed to aid them. The battle was long and punishing. When it ended, Ended, the Wildling stood victorious. Edrik captured Piper, Offal, and Lord Commander John Mormont. Faramir's Sixskins offered his thanks. Edrik questioned Mormont about the wall and Castle Black, but Mormont had a stern warning. If he died, Philip would take command, and he would be far more ruthless. Those were to be his last words. All 3 prisoners were executed. Remaining with Ragwal, Edrik helped siege Crastus Keep yet again. This time the victory came swiftly. Outside the castle, Tobias reappeared with another watch force. Ragwal and Edrik pursued him into the mountains near Fen. What began evenly turned into a slaughter. Tobias escaped. At Fen, Edrik recruited more giants and entered yet another tournament. He won. Dave didn't reach the third round. Near Mance's lands, Edrik joined his growing army once more. Together, they marched again for Craster's Keep. Edrik remarked that the castle must mean as much to the Night's Watch as Castle Black did to the Wildlings. The siege was brutal. During the assault, Edrik was knocked unconscious by a giant enslaved to defend the walls. As he fell, he understood, truly, what it must feel like to face such monsters. The castle was taken. As Edrik recovered, he sent his men to deal with nearby broken men. Not far off, Philip, the man Jor had warned of, attacked Mance Raider's army. A false charge. The Wildlings outnumbered him 8 to 1. Still weakened, Edrik sent his men to fight beside Mance. The victory was absolute. Mance offered his thanks. Edrik took Bowen Marsh prisoner. Recovered at last, Edrik scouted the wall itself, searching for weaknesses, for alternatives. He discovered a hideout and led his men up onto the wall, clearing a small section. From that height, he looked north, over his homelands. Absolutely breathtaking. At Hardhome, Edrik drilled his men again. Promotions following. Bowen Marsh was executed. Heading west, Edrik encountered multiple bands of pillagers who joined forces against him. Against the backdrop of cliffs and the wall itself, Edrik shattered them utterly. Then he rode to see Mance Raider once more. The wars beyond the wall had changed him, and now so had Mance. Snow drifts lazily through the air. A fire crackles low. Mance studies Edrik for a long moment before speaking.
When you first came to me, you were a blade looking for a hand. Not a chief, not a clan. Just a man who wouldn't stop dreaming south. Since then, I've watched your name travel faster than your boots. Men follow you without persuasion. They bleed for you without being asked. That's not strength, that's belonging. You say your warband is ready to stand as a clan. If that's true, then you don't kneel, but you do swear. Then repeat after me. I kneel to no king, but I will fight by your side.
I kneel to no king, but I will fight by your side.
Beyond the wall, honour is our bond, and I will uphold it.
Beyond the wall, honour is our bond, and I will uphold it.
Through the cold and the storms, I stand true.
Through the cold and the storms, I stand true.
We kneel to no king, but I shall stand beside you in battle.
We kneel to no king, but I shall stand beside you in battle.
Then hear me, all who listen. From this night on, the Snowborn stand not as sellswords, but as clan beneath the free folk banner. These men are yours, not payment, reinforcement. You've earned the right to need them.
One of Mance's men steps forward, presenting a new shield.
A shield's not for the man who wants glory. It's for the one who expects the blow.
Edrik accepts it, bowing his head, not kneeling. I won't waste what's been given.
I know. If I thought you would, we wouldn't be having this talk.
With the words spoken, the Snowborn were no longer sellswords. They were sworn beneath the Wildling banner. Still carrying the weight of that moment, Edrik entered a tournament at Fen. He fought with confidence now, not reckless, but assured. Each exchange felt measured, intentional. He won. Dave Ryder was eliminated in the first round, a fact he took poorly and explained loudly. Edrik did not linger. Victory was becoming familiar. From Fen, Edrik rode south to Crowgrave, a village he had never visited before. He spoke to his people, took on fresh recruits. Young, eager, untested, they looked to him with expectation now. They would not remain untested for long. Further south, Edrik spotted Dindalba's army attempting to break a Night's Watch siege on Craster's Keep. The situation was already in motion, lines drawn, Banners raised. Edrik did not hesitate. He joined the fight as if it had always been his place to do so. Jon Snow stood among the enemy ranks once more. The clash was swift, brutal and decisive. Edric's men held their line. Losses were light, none amongst the Snowborn clan. Dindalba thanked Edrik openly without reservation. 2 prisoners were taken, Predard and Corin Halfhand. Both were executed. The ground had barely cooled when another Night's Watch army arrived, this one led by Alistair Thorne. There was no pause for rest. The Wildlings surged forward again, led by Stir Magnar. Edrik joined the charge. The battle that followed was devastation. 18 Wildlings fell, but nearly 350 men of the Night's Watch did not rise again. Third Magnar thanked Edrik with the respect of one warrior to another. Potter Pike and Vargo Hote were taken captive. Edrik rode back to Fen. He spoke again with Magmar and brought 5 more giants into the Snowborn ranks. Outside the settlement walls, the prisoners were executed. There was no spectacle, only finality. Near Fen, Edrik tracked a small band of broken men. Test. With nearly 30 giants now marching under his banner, the outcome was inevitable. Still, Edrik watched closely. He never tired of seeing giants fight. South of Crastus Keep, Edrik reunited with Mance Raider's army. Before long, a Night's Watch force twice their size charged them. Jon Snow among them for the 3rd time. There was no retreat, no room to manoeuvre. Edrik was struck by a crossbow bolt amid the chaos, but the line did not break. The giants advanced. The wildlings pressed forward. The Watch lost 323 men. The Wildlings only lost 58. Edrik's giants alone, by his own count, made up 255 of the Night's Watch losses. When the field fell silent, Rhaegar of the Bright Banners and Jon Snow were taken captive.
Do what you will with me, but I've sworn an oath. The Wall and the Night's Watch will endure long after you've faded into memory.
All three were executed. Not long after, Edrik spotted Myrtle, an ally under attack by Philip. This time the Wildlings held the numbers. The battle was swift and decisive. Alistair Thorne was captured, and he was put to the axe. At Hardhome, Edrik and Dave entered another tournament. Dave fought well this time, reaching the third round before falling to Edrik. Edrik went on to win. Westward again, Edrik encountered the village of Wildtree, under assault by the Night's Watch. He intervened immediately. He engaged was flawless, not a single snowborn fell. Edric's archers dominating the field. Andrew Tarth was defeated. Soon after, Grazdan Zomakar, serving as a mercenary in the Night's Watch, pursued Edric's men. Edrik offered a duel to spare both sides for bloodshed. He won easily.
Call back your dogs.
Both Andrew and Grazdan were executed. Near the wall, Edrik sent ravens. 10 Wildling lords answered. As they gathered, Tobias led a large Night's Watch force through the gate into Wildling lands. Edrik struck immediately.
If you please, stop there. I would ask you for your name.
Though the numbers were nearly even, the Wildlings fought with unity and purpose. Even when Edrik was struck by an arrow, loosed accidentally by a giant, the line howled. 534 Night's Watchmen fell. 71 Wildlings did not rise again. Togozo of the Bright Banners was captured. With the field secured, Edrik dismissed the gathered banners and rode back towards Hardhome. Just outside the settlement, Dave taunted him, remarking that Edrik always seemed to thrive in tournaments. Dave insisted he could still put Edrik on his back under the right conditions. They duelled. Edrik won efficiently. Dave blamed the snow. West again, near the fist of the first men, Edrik spotted Devon Sealskinner, attempting to break a Night's Watch siege. He rode to help without hesitation. The army was led by Philip himself and outnumbered the Wildlings by 200 men. It did not matter. 511 Night's Watchmen were slain. 77 Wildlings fell. Edrik's giants accounted for 249 kills. Carl Tanner, Bren, Horano of the Bright Banners, and Ryan of the Night's Watch were captured. As the White Walkers approached, Edrik withdrew. The war against men was nearing its end. The Greater War was still to come. The Great Hall of Hardhome. Crude timber beams, whale oil braziers casting long shadows. Outside, the distant sound of waves and wind off the shivering sea. Mance Raider sits at the high table, shirtless beneath furs. Gar's bare. Edrik sits opposite him, armoured, weathered, unmistakably changed. Guards linger at a respectful distance. This is not a trial. It is a reckoning. We're ready.
That's a dangerous word.
I know. The clans are armed. The warband's drilled. Castle Black's watchtowers are undermanned. We've seen the fires, counted the horns. Winter deepens, so did the dead. If we wait longer, we don't gain strength. We lose it.
I've watched men rush walls before. I've watched them die on the ladders, choking on arrows, screaming for gods that never came. I won't throw our people at stone for pride.
This isn't pride. I've led men against the dead, seen them rise again when hope said they shouldn't. The clans listen now, not because I shout louder, but because I bring them back alive. Even you look at me differently.
They speak your name.
Because I don't promise them victory, I promise them meaning. Beyond the wall, death hunts us one by one. At the wall, we stand together. If we fall as a people.
I fought the Watch once for freedom. Now you'd have me fight them for survival? Funny world. I've seen you fight. Not like a hero. Like a man who expects the cost and pays it first. That's why they follow you. Very well. Take the wall. Take Castle Black. Make it our shield or our grave.
I won't waste it.
If you fail, there will be no songs. No second chances.
I know. That's why I won't.
Go. Make them remember why the wall was built.
The wall was never meant to keep us out. It was meant to hold the dark back. Edrik rode south. Not in haste, not in fury, but with purpose. The wall rose ahead of him, vast and cold, far across the world. Behind him, the land answered. Ravens were loosed into the grey sky, each one carrying a single message. It's time. From the Fossfangs, from Fen, from Hardhome, from camps and villages that had never stood together before, banners began to move. Men and women who had followed Edrik through snow, blood, and shadow now followed him towards something final. He did not look back. Every mile carried the weight of what he had seen. The dead that walked, the silence that followed them, the truth Mance had feared to speak aloud. Castle Black waited, and when Edrik arrived, he did not arrive alone. The ground shook beneath his boots and hooves. Giants loomed over the host like living siege towers. Clans stood together, shoulder to shoulder. This was no raid. This was an answer. Edrik did not raise his voice. He did not need to. Orders were given, commanders named, warbands broken and reforged with purpose. Each was sensed where they would hold or break. Edrik addressed his troops. The wildlings stand in loose ranks. Torches gutter in the wind. The wall looms above, impossible, cold, uncaring. Edrik steps forward. He does not shout. He waits until the murmurs die. Look at it. They built it to frighten children, to make us small.
It's worked for a long time. He gestures to the gathered clans. We were told we were scattered, that we'd never stand together, that we were meant to freeze, starve, or kneel. Yet here you are. He turns slowly, letting his gaze pass across faces. I won't tell you this will be easy. Some of you won't see the sunrise tomorrow. Some of you will hear the horns and wish you were somewhere else. That fear keeps you alive. But beyond this wall, there is warmth. There is ground that doesn't kill your feet. There are children who won't learn to fight before they learn to walk. Behind us is the dead. I've seen them. They don't tire. They don't bargain. They don't care what clan you were born into. They will take us one by one or all at once. Tonight, we choose once. Not to run. Not to wait. Not to die separately. He looks up at the wall again. We take this wall. We make it ours. Not for glory, but for survival. Fight for the man beside you. Fight so your people never have to flee again. And when they tell stories of this night, they won't say we begged. They'll say we crossed. Hold fast. Stay together. And when the horn sounds, take the wall.
You know, I always figured my last moments would involve a woman, a fire, and very poor judgment. This is none of those things.
Edrik exhales through his nose, almost a smile. Life's full of disappointments. You get used to them. Dave leans closer, lowering his voice.
Half the camp thinks you're mad. The other half thinks you're some sort of prophet. I'm still deciding which one scares me more.
They're usually the same thing. Dave studies him, then nods.
Bear, what do you think you are?
Edrik keeps his eyes on the wall. A man who ran out of time. The wind whistles through stone. Dave adjusts his grip on his weapon.
You ever notice how quiet it gets right before everything goes to hell?
I notice when it stops being quiet. That's when people start dying.
If this works, they'll follow you anywhere. If it doesn't, well, I've had worse plans.
Name one.
Still standing, aren't I?
Edrik finally turns to him. You don't have to be here.
I missed this. I've been telling people I was here since the start. Wouldn't want to be caught lying when they're carving songs.
A distant sound. The horn being lifted. Dave inhales, steadying himself.
After this, first drink's on me.
After this, we'll need more than one. Dave flashes a grin. Nervous. Real.
Aye. As long as you're still around to argue with whose fault it was.
Edrik holds his gaze. I'll do my best. The horn blasts. They step forward together.
The horns fell silent. Castle Black stood. Gates were broken. Its walls were taken. Wildling banners flew from the ramparts. Men moved through the R's, not as raiders, not as conquerors, but as those still breathing. Fires were lit. Wounds were bound. The living counted the living. It had been done. The wall had been crossed. The waiting had ended. This was what Edrik had fought for. Stone instead of snow. Walls instead of open ground. A place to stand when the dead came south. But Edrik did not stand to see it. They riding out in the shadow of the wall, arms locked around a body that would never rise again. Edrik Snowborn, war leader, clan founder, the man who would not wait. There was no ceremony, no words ready enough. Only blood in the snow, already dark. The Wildlings would live behind these walls now. Dave did not let go for a long time, but when he finally stood, he did not look at the wall. He looked north. The Night King was still coming. Enemies still waited beyond the gate. The world did not care what survival had cost. But Castle Black stood, and it stood because one man refused to wait. Edrik Snowborn is dead. The wall is taken. And the war has only just begun.